Who doesn't love a good film announcement? Well, how about several of them? Passionate fans behind some of the most popular franchises gather at annual events every year to celebrate the packed slates that movie studios are bringing to theaters every year. And this year, I got to partake in just this type of event. This is because I just got back in town from covering Destination D23 this past weekend, which was held at the Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida. For those who don't know, Destination D23 is an event where press members and Disney fans gather to celebrate major announcements and showcases from upcoming Disney properties across their vast array of their entertainment network, with trailer debuts, sneak peeks, and full clips playing to the delight of many audience members. The event was a blast from start to finish, and there's really nothing like cheering on and watching these major announcements with such a passionate crowd. That's why today, I'm here to break down every single major announcement from the Walt Disney Studios Showcase that took place at the event early on Saturday morning. Over the course of an hour and 30 minutes, attendees were treated to a wide plethora of footage drops and information about new film releases under the Disney umbrella that were kind of earth-shattering to say the least. And that's why I'm here to break down and talk about everything that we saw at the showcase. Before the video starts, I have to give honorable mention to the incredible staff at D23 for putting on such an event. The showcase and all of the panels in the weekend were run in such a seamless and effective manner, and it truly was unlike any other film event I've had the opportunity to cover in the past. If you get the chance to attend D23 in the future, I highly recommend it. It is such a blast from start to finish. Also, if you're new to this channel and you like this video and want to see more film-related analysis and coverage, feel free to click the subscribe button and like the video down below. And comment down below with which upcoming film you're excited for from this slate. With that being said, let's jump right into it. We're jumping right into the coverage with perhaps one of the largest news occurrences that was revealed at the entire panel, which was the long-anticipated fifth entry into Pixar's long-running hit franchise, which is Toy Story 5. At first glance before heading into this panel, I was one of those people who were firmly in the camp that we did not need a fifth entry into this series. The first three films are genuinely incredible works of animation, yet the fourth was a departure that didn't entirely feel earned or necessary in the grand scheme of things. And heading into the specific panel, I was hesitant to see if anything that was revealed would change my mind or outlook on the film or what it attempts to achieve. The panel started off by revealing that Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, and Joan Cusack would return to reprise their voice roles as Woody, Buzz, and Jessie respectively. With that, the panel shifted into some of the logistics of the plot itself, revealing that this film would primarily explore the rising role and prominence of technology in the market of children's entertainment, and how the physical toys would grapple and deal with this change. This was when it was revealed that one of the main antagonists of the film driving this complex narrative angle forward would be none other than the new character, Lilypad, who is a children's version of an iPad tablet who promises hilarious and serious hijinks throughout the film. We were also introduced to a brand new character joining the eccentric cast in the form of Smarty Pants, a child's potty training toy who is voiced by none other than esteemed comedian and former late night host Conan O'Brien. During the panel, it was humorously revealed to attendees that, as is the case with other Pixar voice actors after they finish a project, they sign a specific wall at Pixar headquarters. Well, when Conan finished recording, it seems that he took a slightly different approach to this, and actually signed his place inside of a bathroom wall of a stall in classic Conan fashion. Yet this isn't the only news of the film that was revealed to attendees, as we were actually shown the opening scene of the film itself. In the sequence, a transport full of Buzz Lightyear toys crash lands on a remote deserted island. As the toys come to, they begin to establish their own culture on the island in a similar vein of Lord of the Flies or even Castaway. Watching the sky at one point and discovering the vast array of a world out there, the Buzz toys build an impromptu ship and set sail for the mainland, promising all sorts of issues and situations for the rest of the film. In regards to my personal reaction to the film after seeing all of these reveals at the panel, I'm still mixed on it, yet slightly less so. It is 100% true that the fourth installment of the series felt shoehorned in, and it seems difficult to determine how the team at Pixar is going to adapt a fifth installment that not only stands individually apart from the rest of the series, but manages to add to the depth of the previous installments in a meaningful way. I love the technology angle that is going to be explored here, as it feels incredibly timely and impactful in a society where physical toys have faded, and technology has reigned the supreme ruler of children's imaginations. And I hope that this film is able to explore that topic in classic Pixar fashion with nuance and charm. However, there is also an element of not leaning too heavily into this, so I hope the film was able to stand apart in a different regard from just these jokes. The opening scene was also fun and humorous to see, but it didn't really provide any insights into whether or how these other Buzz Lightyear toys will factor into the film itself. All of this is to say that I will be approaching Toy Story 5 next summer with an air of cautious optimism, as it is always fun to jump into this vibrant world of these toys and their madcap adventures, but whether the filmmaking or narrative behind it will be able to support such a venture is my main concern. Continuing on within the panel in the vein of Pixar films, attendees were we're next treated to an exclusive insight and first look at Pixar's next upcoming feature, which is an original property named Hoppers. Hoppers is directed by Daniel Chong, who is best known for his work on the Cartoon Network series We Bare Bears, and he was joined on stage by his producing partner Nicole Grindle to talk all about the film in depth. In Hoppers, we are introduced to Mabel, a young college student who is an animal and nature enthusiast and activist. She stumbles upon a plot between a group of scientists who have developed a way to put a human mind into the body of a robotic animal in order to communicate with the animal world. Jumping at the opportunity, Mabel puts her brain into the body of a robotic beaver and must work to convince a neighboring beaver clan to move their dam before it is destroyed by a new interstate construction development, all while the group of zany scientists work to stop her and get her back. Actress Piper Curda, who voices Mabel in the film, joined the stage and helped to announce other voice cast additions as well. Former SNL comedian and cast member Bobby Moynihan took the stage to reveal that he will voice King George, the ruler of the Beaver Clan, and that John Hamm will voice Mayor Jerry, a local do-good politician who drives many of the story beats of the film forward. In addition, attendees were treated to 3 distinct clips showcasing what is to come within the film itself. In the first, we watch as King George explains the rules and regulations of the animal world to Mabel, although through her distinct viewpoint, these rules seem cutthroat and quite intense in nature. In the second clip, we were treated to a fun montage where the Beaver Clan builds up a dam to the tune of Loverboy's classic song Working for the Weekend, all under the whimsical direction of King George. In the third clip, we were introduced to Ham's Mayor Jerry, who wakes up to start his morning only to find himself trapped in his car by a group of animals, as Mabel and the other beavers try to communicate with him through the text-to-speech function on his cell phone, to disastrous and quite humorous effect. There have been many discussions recently about whether Pixar is confidently losing their touch in the animated realm. Their last original film, Elio, was such a sweet and charming film about connection and finding your place in the universe. Yet to no avail, the film did not land with audiences. It seems that audiences are not connecting with films released from the studio recently for some reason, and there has been a lot of emphasis on whether Hoppers will be the film to help bring this focus back, as it is an original property from the studio. Before seeing the footage, I would have confidently told you that this movie would not do that, but after seeing the footage, my expectations were pleasantly raised, and I was somewhat surprised to see how funny, vibrant, and overall layered the film looks from both a visual and narrative standpoint. It's doing something so distinctly different from other films of this caliber, especially within Pixar's filmography. I've already fallen in love with the characters of Mabel and the beavers within her clan, and the film's plot promises a complex look into the disastrous efforts of redevelopment and natural destruction within our own ecosystems, and about the opening of viewpoints outside of our own and how that can change our perception about the world around us. It looks lovingly animated, so well acted, so much fun, and I just can't wait to jump into the full film in March of 2026. Yet, although many of the announcements at this panel were a few months away, there were some news and footage teases for properties that have a release date a little bit closer than this. This is because the next segment in the panel focused on Disney's upcoming October release, Tron Ares, which is the third installment in the sci-fi tech-infused franchise, and is seeking to reestablish and reboot the series for modern audiences and their sensibilities. If you know me, you'll know that I love what the Tron series has accomplished thus far. The prior installment, Tron Legacy, is a supremely underrated film that showcases what modern-day blockbuster filmmaking should be. And I also really like what the original 80s classic accomplishes, even if it doesn't entirely hold up in terms of visual effects quality or story structure. For these reasons, I'm extremely excited to see what awaits in Tron Ares, and the announcements that they revealed during this panel further highlighted my awareness and insight in this matter. The panel started off with the team revealing that, for the first time ever, both the original Tron film and Tron Legacy will be released in 4K on steelbooks, meaning that collectors and aficionados can finally view both films in the highest quality format out there, which is exciting stuff. Tron Legacy already looks fantastic in 3D, but I can't wait to see how the depth and immersion of the digital world is heightened in this transfer. In addition, it was announced that, in conjunction with Ares' release in October, the Tron Light Cycle Run attraction at Disney's Magic Kingdom theme park will be rethemed with a red color scheme to match the film, with the film's music score from Nine Inch Nails playing throughout the attraction as well. This is such a fun way to heighten immersion and awareness of a film property through unconventional marketing efforts, and I find that this will be a nice touch for those properly enthusiastic about the film and its release. Outside of that, we were also shown an exclusive clip from the film itself during this panel, and it more than excited me for the rest of the film. In the scene, Julian Dillinger, played by Evan Peters, transports Ares and Athena, Jared Leto, and Jodie Turner-Smith to the real world. Their mission? To chase down and capture a mysterious computer hacker named Eve, played by Greta Lee. What follows is a madcap and rampant motorcycle and light cycle chase on a major freeway bridge, which sees technology interacting with the real world in such a blatant way, with such a seamless transition between CGI and practical effects, which is awesome to see. If that scene just sounds pulse-pounding, trust me, it is. Throughout this clip, we also got a tease of the music score by Nine Inch Nails within the film, and when I say it works so far, it works incredibly well. It is insanely visceral and manages to stand complimentary with Daft Punk's score in the second installment without feeling like a cheap imitation. I also love the practical effects used in the action set pieces, and how the film really seems to be leaning into the tangible elements of our world that makes its argument about technology and artificial intelligence feel incredibly timely and impactful, prevalent and present stakes. Overall, this portion of the panel really heightened my excitement for Ares and its release in October, and I can't wait to escape into the grid again on a vibrant and techno-infused adventure unlike any other. Continuing on in the panel, we got to look at yet another highly anticipated movie releasing in 2026, which is the hotly anticipated Marvel film Avengers Doomsday. Yet, it wasn't really a conventional first look in the slightest. Rather, since the film is still in production, directors Joe and Anthony Russo sent in a special video from the set, thanking D23 attendees for their support of the film and urging audiences they wouldn't want to miss the film in theaters in December of 2026. Yet, this conventional message was interrupted by a particular actor who was none other than Paul Rudd, who, unprompted, interrupted the video message by happenstance and started reading Anthony Russo's lines for him in a humorous turn of events. This was to be expected after all. A film like Avengers Doomsday is going to take a lot of hard work and dedication in order to release in time for next year. And although we didn't get any new footage or teases at this panel in particular, I am still so excited to see what the result of this film is next year. I've talked in the past about Marvel's recent track record a lot within their past releases. And although Fantastic Four First Steps in July somewhat restored my hope in this franchise and its capability, it is truly Avengers Doomsday that will solidify whether Marvel has sure footing leading to the company's future and beyond. No pressure, right? Moving from the world of the superheroes to the world of the stars, D23 attendees were delighted for the next presentation within the panel, which moved into a galaxy far, far away. This is because the film in question is the upcoming Star Wars series spin-off, The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is directed by Jon Favreau and stars Pedro Pascal once again as the titular character, a bounty hunter who must journey across the vast galaxy with the small Grogu in a charming, action-packed, and vibrant film. The first trailer was screened exclusively for attendees of the panel and features an extended one-take-esque sequence where Pascal's Mandalorian is infiltrating an enemy combat transport, leading to a massive failure and explosion that piques the interest of Sigourney Weaver's Ward. One of the questions that is often asked when a television property or show makes the jump to the cinematic big screen is this needed? And ultimately, such a question has to be asked when discussing a film as highly anticipated as Mandalorian and Grogu. After all, the show is a massive success. It would make sense that Disney would seek to usher these beloved characters in their world into the multiplex. Yet, based on the footage I saw within the trailer, I can't confidently say at this point whether such a choice is wholeheartedly correct. This footage just screams made for television, and there are certain points in the cinematography and color grading, not to mention the shot composition within the trailer, where I didn't feel like I was watching a large-scale spectacle made for the premium formats of IMAX and Dolby. I felt like I was watching a Disney Plus show, which I wonder why. It remains to be seen what the thematic structure or story will explore. And this teaser offered attendees just a small taste of what is to come within this film in particular. Yet the grizzled film journalist in me can't shake off the feeling that something doesn't seem right about this film thus far. With a release date in May of 2026, the film is relying on that beginning of summer box office buzz to carry it to success. But in a landscape where the last few Star Wars properties within movie theaters haven't been the greatest, it has to be questioned whether audiences will show up in droves for this one, or wait for it to hit streaming just like its original source property. In the vein of streaming releases, one of the next properties that was showcased within the panel is an upcoming direct-to-streaming release based on Jeff Kinney's beloved best-selling book series, which is that of Diary of a Wimpy Kid: The Last Straw. As an early 2000s kid, I'm old enough to remember the quite hilarious, and often underrated, live-action adaptations featuring this book property, which managed to capture the time period and the awkwardness of maturity and growth within childhood with ease. Yet with this installment in particular, it seems that the team behind these books is taking a wholeheartedly different approach to the material. You see, this installment of Diary of a Wimpy Kid is animated. The live action mix has been transformed into a layered and often imitative style that feels plucked straight out of the novels themselves in terms of character and world design. The animation style almost reminds me of what they did with the Peanuts movie, where they translated Charles Schultz's signature style and designs into a 3D animated blend. Yet here the result is nowhere near as charming as that film. The film is set to follow the titular character of Greg Heffley as he seeks to impress his crush Holly Hills at a talent show. However, his father Frank is convinced that Greg needs to be sent to Spag Union, which is a local military academy. Determined to prove his father wrong, Greg must work to prove himself to Holly at the talent show and his father in particular. However, in classic Greg Heffley fashion, things go horribly wrong. After a brief video message from author Jeff Kinney introducing the film, attendees were treated to an extended scene from the film itself, in which Greg and his best friend Rally are shoveling snow from the yard of an older neighbor. Frustrated with how long and tedious the process is, Greg gets the sudden idea to use a lawnmower to move the snow quicker, which, as you might expect, results in catastrophic consequences for all involved, especially since Greg's father pulls up to the house at the exact wrong time to see the end product of the chaos. Watching the sequence at the panel, I was struck with just how off such a property felt. The animation feels shockingly cheap, with no semblance of substance, depth, or weight to drive visual composition or motivation whatsoever. The characters don't feel particularly nuanced or insightful, and it feels more like a by-the-books retelling of plot points from the novels than it does anything inherently spirited. Again, maybe that's on me for expecting something noteworthy out of a made-for-streaming television movie, yet I can't help but feel that this film is traveling a very clear path towards mediocrity that seems unavoidable at best. For those who are interested in streaming the misadventures of Greg Heffley, Diary of a Wimpy Kid: The Last Straw starts streaming on Disney Plus December 5th. Yet, I have a feeling that this is one particular misadventure that I will not be partaking in. Continuing on within the animated film landscape, we were treated to another announcement featuring a long-running franchise that was a shock to say the least. It seems that Ice Age 6 is in fact happening, regardless of Blue Sky Studios and its existence. At the panel, however, a huge reveal was announced when a title card was dropped featuring the name of the long-anticipated sequel, which is Ice Age Boiling Point. With a release date of February 2027, there is a long way to see what this installment has in store for fan-favorite characters such as Manny, Sid, Diego, and others. Personally, I don't have much in the way of expectation at this time. The other Ice Age installments are quite enjoyable, albeit harmless. Save for the seriously awful 5th installment, don't even get me started. And it's always fun jumping back into this colorful and vibrant world that feels strangely similar yet distinctly different from our own. Yet at the same time, I have to mention that it does pain me that the fantastic animation studio behind the original films, Blue Sky Studios, is no longer in existence, after Disney announced its closure in April 2021. It does seem somewhat awkward to contemplate a series entry without the direct involvement of Blue Sky's team, whether from a visual or compositional standpoint, but that is ultimately a conversation to have once we are able to see footage from the actual film. All we have to work on at the moment is a title, and if that's any indicator, this is sure to be a quite intense and, dare I say, hot entry to this franchise. In addition to footage teases, we also had to see tons of trailers in relation to upcoming films, including James Cameron's long-awaited 3rd installment to his groundbreaking sci-fi series Avatar: Fire and Ash, which releases in theaters everywhere this December. As someone who didn't particularly care for the 1st installment of Avatar and found it quite narratively derivative, albeit visually stunning and groundbreaking, I was completely won over by the 2nd installment, The Way of Water, back in 2022. Something about that film's narrative tone and thematic structure just clicked for me. And I understood in that moment that I was on board for whatever Cameron decided to do going forward in this series. And if the footage we saw at D23 is any indication, we are in for a ride. Continuing on with the events of the 2nd film, as Jake Sully and his family once again fight against the humanistic forces seeking to capture and claim the wondrous world of Pandora, this film seems to be taking an interesting turn in how it establishes the humans aren't the only threat that Jake must face, as it seems that a rival Na'vi fire clan is intent on wiping out the world in the search for a perfect environment. The visuals continue to bring that grounded yet over-the-top flair that these films are known for, and it looks stunning. The narrative structure looks incredibly complex and emotionally nuanced, and there are some character moments that already look like they're going to pack a narrative punch. This movie is at the top of my most anticipated of the year list, and nothing else can come close. I cannot wait to embark on this journey in December, and I know audiences will as well. The question remains to be seen. Will James Cameron make me cry for a Na'vi? I guess we'll find out in December, but if this footage is any indication, it seems the answer is yes. We also got a glimpse of yet another installment in a long-running alien-based sci-fi franchise, which is seeking to reestablish itself inside of the current box office landscape. Predator: Badlands is releasing in theaters this November, and once again follows the fierce warrior species, but this time with a twist. Acclaimed series director Dan Trachtenberg is once again returning to the director's chair to tell the story of a young predator warrior who is outcast from his clan and searches throughout the land for an adversary to take down in order to prove himself. All while a synthetic named Thea, played by Elle Fanning, forms an unlikely partnership with him. Based on the premise and the footage we saw alone, I am already in 100%. And I honestly wasn't beforehand. This hyper-infused blend of sci-fi and drama feels like the Predator version of Nicholas Roeg's fantastic film Walkabout. A coming-of-age story that is infused with sci-fi and action elements that feel primed to pack an adrenaline-based punch, while retaining some grounded character moments and emotional beats as well. I have never seen a single Predator film before now, so I might have to get on that, as the November 7th release date is not that far away, and I am absolutely going to be there opening day. I cannot wait for this film. Rounding out the showcase panel, Walt Disney Animation Studios Chief Creative Officer Jared Bush took to the stage to introduce one of 2 upcoming projects for the studio. For the first, he stated that the team at Walt Disney Animation Studios had spent a lot of time and effort on creating this magical film. And with that, he revealed the title of Walt Disney Animation Studios' upcoming original film, Hexed, which releases in 2026. Showcasing concept art for the film, Bush described the film as a movie about a precocious young teen and his mother who accidentally stumbled their way into a world where magic reigns supreme and exciting surprises await, and where the weirdnesses and quirks that the teen is made fun of back on Earth are seen as a hidden strength and positive quality within this fantastic world. Based on the premise and the concept art alone that was shown, this looks and feels like such a vibrant and layered exploration into individuality and about the magic that lies in each and every one of us. With vibrant world designs and quirky characters within the concept art, this looks like a true narrative return to form for the studio, showcasing whimsical animation elements while retaining a grounded emotional core. I can't wait to see what awaits within the world of Hexed next year, and I'm sure it's a movie that audiences won't want to miss. And rounding out the studio's showcase panel, Jared Bush took to the stage to further introduce D23 attendees to the upcoming November release from the studio and the highly anticipated sequel to 2016's Best Animated Feature Oscar winner, Zootopia 2. Starting off the panel, Jared revealed 2 new cast members who will be voicing characters in the movie, with Shari Yvette Nicole Brown, who plays the bear Oness, a bear character who attends a fancy gala alongside Nick and Judy in the film, and an EMT Otter who is humorously attending to a character who appears to be stuck in a tuba in 2 quick cameos within the film. It was also revealed that esteemed comedian Patrick Warburton will voice a politician named Mayor Winddancer, a horse and new mayor of Zootopia, who is a former actor turned politician, who, as Bush puts it quite eloquently, is a mayor who has only ever played a mayor on television before. In a clip revealed to attendees at the panel, we watch a small excerpt from one of the in-movie films that Winddancer acted in which we see him fight off a vigilante with dramatic flourish, all while delivering his classic line, "You say justice is dead, I say nay." According to both Bush and Warburton, who joined the stage during the panel, they recorded over 50 different variations of that single word alone in the recording booth. Yet, beyond just these fun character and cast reveals, we also got a glimpse into the film itself and the thematic structure that will make up its runtime. Jared Bush revealed that this film will explore a new side of Nick and Judy's relationship that hasn't been explored thus far. As he put it, if the first film was the quote-unquote honeymoon, this is moving in together. With that, the opening scene of the film itself was shown, in which Nick and Judy are both disguised undercover as a couple. I have to make note that Nick's shirt in the scene reads Foxy Dad, which is genuinely absolutely hilarious. The duo are on the trail of an anteater character who is smuggling what is revealed to be a dangerous and deadly viper into the city. Clashing styles and viewpoints between the pair leads to miscalculation and distraction, which causes Chief Bogo to threaten splitting up the pair due to their miscommunication. This causes both Nick and Judy to attend mandatory partners therapy, as exemplified in the teaser trailer of the film itself. In order to prove themselves not just to Bogo, but to the entire force, Nick and Judy jump at the chance to track down a snake who has been sighted across Zootopia, even though, as Nick points out, there hasn't been a snake in Zootopia's city limits in years. This madcap search leads the characters to Marsh Market, a wild and zany subsection of the town that hosts a wide variety of land and sea mammals within its city limits. And we journey with Nick and Judy through the seedy confines of what looks to be the Zootopia equivalent of a tacky Florida-inspired tourist trap. As Nick and Judy are led through the zany setting by Nibbles, a beaver character voiced by Fortune Feinmeister, we as audiences are treated to a visual feast in which the Disney animators resist flexing their world building and complex environment and character animation techniques. It's revealed that Nick and Judy are in search of an old book that holds a secret that even most of Zootopia is not aware of, and some characters would be intent on killing to keep that secret hidden. Yet a new character named Gary the Snake, voiced by Oscar winner Ke Huy Quan, is also intent on getting his hands, or is it scales, on the book, as he believes it will help improve something profound about reptiles and snakes in the world of Zootopia. After Nick and Judy agree to help him, as they view him as wrongfully framed and truthfully innocent, they must contend with more than they bargained for after they're labeled as rogue officers and are tracked down by the entire Zootopia police force. They will have to rely on their wit and luck in order to evade and escape this wild situation. I really didn't know what to expect from the sequel, but these footage teasers further highlighted my overall intrigue into the film itself. So far, this looks like an animated version of The Fugitive, with such a complex narrative and consistent stakes that are sure to keep audience members on their toes from start to finish. Yet, beyond just the prevalent vibrancy and action on display, Bush promises that this sequel will contain personal growth and development in spades, and will explore how when we work through our differences and are honest about our areas of struggle with each other, we can begin to make the world a better place. And these are all narrative complexities I'm looking forward to exploring through the wild lens of Zootopia 2 when it hits theaters in November. And that concludes my coverage of every studio showcase announcement at Destination D23 this year. I am once again incredibly grateful that I got to attend and cover this event this year for my outlets, and thank you so much to the incredible team at D23 and all the cast members for coordinating and planning every single moment, surprise, and announcement during this past weekend. If you liked this coverage and want to see continued film analysis, coverage, and commentary on a variety of different entertainment topics, don't forget to click the subscribe button down below, like the video, and turn on push notifications so you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video to my channel. Also, leave a comment down below with which announcement you're most excited for out of the slate. And trust me, it's a tough one because there is a lot. With that being said, until next time, this is Mitchell signing off.